So today we are going to discuss about fire resistant building construction. Okay. So before understanding what is fire resistant building construction, we have to know about what is fire, how fire takes place. So basically this fire is the visible effect of process of combustion. कोई भी वस्तु ने अपने बाड़िए तो एनी जो visible effect होय, that is called as fire. So for any fire to occur, there are three possible things or the three main ingredients that should be present. Okay, so it occurs in the presence of oxygen in air. So here you can see if oxygen is present in air, first thing. Second, some fuel should be there, some fuel is there, or some heat material. Okay, so that is ignition, point of ignition. That will result in fire. And then after, there is a continuous chain reaction that would take place due to this. So fourth aspect is chain reaction that will continue till the availability of this heat, fuel and oxygen. And this is called as the fire triangle. So that is what which is called as fire triangle. And due to this fire triangle, normally this fire occurs. Okay. So this fire triangle is the base behind your fire resistant building. You have to understand that fire, okay, how it has taken place. So normally the causes of fire, smoking, okay, so that may be the reason. Faulty electrical wiring, heating and cooking appliances or equipments that are not properly managed, small children playing with matchbox anytime that can catch fire if it is not properly handled, and then open flame or spark, flammable liquid if you are using. Some chimneys are there, chimneys. So this may be anything if went wrong in any of the cases, it may take place fire. Okay, because there is a presence of oxygen always there in air, and if you provide some fuel or if you provide some ignition that is in the form of heat, then it may result in fire. Okay, so that continuous chain reaction that will propagate your fire. Okay, so if you have to understand how the fire take place. Now similarly, you should know the classes of fire. Okay, so there are various classes of fire, but these are the main categories that are given here. So this A class, so basically it is due to ordinary combustible like organic material, wood, paper, cloth. If these are the this will act as a fuel material, then this is the symbol. This is for the A class of fire. Then B class of fire, that is due to flammable liquids like grease, oil, paint or solvent, due to that. Then C class of fire, it is mainly related to electrical appliances or the live electrical equipment like electrical panel, motor or wiring, etc. So you can say this is due to electrical, this is due to oil or flammable liquid, this is due to our normal combustible materials, wood, paper, etc. Then D class of fire, that is due to combustible metals that can get easily combustible. Is a combustion thai sake, magnesium, aluminum, etc. So that is due to metal, you can say. Then K kind of fire, that is due to commercial cooking equipment. So you can say from kitchen, in the restaurant or in your house. So that is due to cooking oil or animal fat or vegetable oil. So these are the major kinds of fire, and most of the fire extinguishers that are designed to take care of the different types of fire. Okay, kai type ni fire che, accordingly you have to use the fire extinguishers. Okay, so if you have seen the fire extinguisher, in that which kind of fire it can extinguish, that is always written. So if you have not seen, then please go and see. Okay, so which class of fire that can be extinguished by a particular fire extinguisher is always mentioned on that. So you have to understand that if you are using a fire extinguisher, it can extinguish the fire of A and B, then only on A and B kind of fire only you have to apply that. You cannot apply on D or K. Okay, so accordingly you have to utilize your fire extinguisher according to the classes of fire. So now as we are talking about the fire resistant construction, so whatever our common building material that we are using, then we should know how they are responsible for this fire resisting properties. Okay, so which material will be considered as good if we want to construct a fire resistant building. So first we are considering this stone. So stone is basically a bad conductor of heat, and it is also non-combustible building material, but it will suffer appreciably under the effect of heat. Heat का effect काफी होगा उसके ऊपर. Okay, and it will disintegrate into small pieces when heated and suddenly cool down. So as far as fire resistant is concerned, stone is not considered as a good material. Okay, as compared to brick or concrete. Okay, so fire का जब भी बात आता है तो stone is not that much good. Okay, that you should understand. Next is brick. So it is also poor conductor of heat. and it can withstand the temperature up to 1200 to 13 degree centigrade. And if you are using a good quality mortar and workmanship is also good, then this brick offers good resistance to fire. So you can say that brick is very good material as far as the fire resistant property is concerned. And also the particular fire brick, that is a block of refractory ceramic material. So that is a fire resistant kind of brick. Okay, and that can be used as a lining for the furnace, kilns और firebox जहाँ पे बहुत ही ज़्यादा high temperature होना करते हैं, ठीक है ना, furnace में, तो वहाँ पे as a lining material you can use such type of refractory bricks which is called as the fire brick, which can withstand very high temperature range. So you can say this brick is a good material as far as the fire resistant of the building is concerned. So this is very good material. Next is timber. So timber, as you know that it is as a general rule, structural material like this timber ignite and get rapidly destroyed in case of fire, and it will actually add to the intensity of fire because it will act as a fuel. तो उल्टा और ज़्यादा बढ़ जाएगा आपका fire. So if you want to, though we are using this timber, okay, normally in doors and windows we are using, also some partition wall may be there. So if you want to make that as fire resistant material, then you have to coat that surface with certain chemicals like ammonium phosphate or sulfate and borax or boric acid. So what they will do, they will retard the rise of temperature during fire. Okay, so up to certain extent you can make it fire resistant, but it cannot be considered as a good material as far as the fire resistance property is concerned. Next is glass. So this is also widely used. So it is also poor conductor of heat, and its expansion due to heat is also small, but when it gets heated, the crack will be formed, and also it will upon when the cracks will be developed, and when it is suddenly cooled down. So generally, instead of normal glass or those ordinary glass, you can use the reinforced glass with steel wire. So that may be having some good fire resistant as compared to normal glass. And the last one is concrete. So this is the widely used material, as you know. So it is also a poor conductor of heat, and it is the effective material. So as far as whatever building material that are widely used like brick and concrete, they both are very effective material as far as the fire resisting construction is concerned. And basically this behavior of the concrete, it depends upon quality of cement. Basically हमारा जो भी strength आता है ना concrete में, main ingredient is cement. It gives its strength. Okay, so this fire resistant property also depends upon the quality of cement used, as well as if you are using it for RCC structure, then it depends upon the steel also, position of steel, which kind of steel, etc. So this RCC structure can resist the fire for hours with the temperature up to 1000 degree centigrade also. So you can say that as far as the normal building materials, this concrete and brick, these two, they are very good material as far as the fire resistant construction is concerned. And normally we are using these two materials widely, and other materials also we are using, but concrete and brick, they are very good as far as the fire resistance is concerned. Now, if you want to go for a fire resistant construction, which are the points that you should follow? So first thing, for fire resistant construction or building, maximum use of non combustible material, जे बड़ी ना जाए एवा material तुम्हारे use करवा जोगे. Okay, and all the structural members, basically this beam, column, lintel, floor, roof, etc., load bearing wall, they should be constructed in such a way that they should continue to functional as a structural member, at least for the period which may be sufficient for the occupants to escape. જ્યારે પણ આગ લાગે તો એટલીસ્ટ આ જે બધા સ્ટ્રક્ચરલ મેમ્બર્સ છે it should not collapse easily. Okay, so at least they should continue to work as a structural member until the people or the persons who are living at that particular building, they should at least escape and they should reach to some safe distance. Okay, and all these load bearing walls, columns of masonry, they should be thicker in section, wo patli wall nahi. So load bearing wall, definitely you should go for the thicker section, so that it should act as a fire barrier for a considerable time. So that time is very important. And as far as possible, fire resisting materials should be used in fire resisting or fire resistant construction. And these doors and walls that are also should be fire resistant. So as per our fire resisting rating, doors, windows, etc., they should be prepared, and they should these are used to reduce the spread of fire. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि वो खुद ही spread कर दे. If you are having door which is of timber, so that will add into the intensity of the fire. So they should reduce to spread of fire or the smoke between the compartment. So all the materials that you are choosing, and they should be fire resistant as far as possible if you are going for fire resistant construction. Okay. So now there are certain general rules that are to be followed for any fire resisting building. So these are the general rules that you should know. So for any fire resisting building, if you are designing with this building, it is a fire resistant building. If you are authorizing like that, then in that such building, which kind of provision should be there? So first thing, fire alarm system should be there. So basically there are two types of fire alarm. First is automatic and second is manual. So generally automatic is generally provided in the industries, which is generally which remains unoccupied during the night. So if in during night period, if some fire take place, then what will happen? So generally it will start automatically whenever fire takes place, and it will send the information to control point as well as to the fire brigade station. So it is operating itself as and when fire takes place. Okay. But manual alarm system, you have to go and you have to press that button, you have to pull down. So whatever instructions are given, as per that you have to give it. Okay. So it is consisting of a handbell, and generally it is provided near all the main exit जहाँ पे भी आपका natural path of escape है, and which is a readily accessible point. Anyone who is knowing कि fire लग गया है, he should reach to that place and he should just press it. Okay. And it should be located in such a place that which cannot be easily obstructed by a smoke, जहाँ पे smoke नहीं आ जाए. ठीक है. So and the person can go, and that alarm system, due to that everyone would know if fire लग गया है, so everyone can find their escape path. So fire alarm system होना चाहिए in the fire resistant building. Next is protection of opening. Whenever fire takes place, very important thing is to escape. Okay. अगर आपका escape ही अगर fire के अंदर आ जाता है, so it will become very difficult for you to go out from that building. So this protection of opening, it is most important part whenever fire takes place. So it is most important in case of fire. Okay. So generally this opening, it should be of solid timber door of thickness not less than 40 mm. फायर रेजिस्टेंट बिल्डिंग है 40 mm, इस 4 सेंटीमीटर से कम की थिकनेस का डोर अगर इफ यू आर प्रोवाइडिंग विद द टिम्बर, इट शुड नॉट बी यूज्ड. ओके. सो इट शुड बी एटलीस्ट 40 mm minimum whenever you require that it should be a fire resistant. And all the openings for the communication in the fire resisting structure, it should be fitted with double fireproof door. जो भी opening है कि जहाँ से आपको जाना है, it should be of double fireproof door, and remaining opening may be fitted with a single fireproof door. So whenever we are talking about fireproof doors, so there are two types of such doors. First is superior quality and second is inferior quality of fireproof. So whenever we are talking about superior quality of fireproof, so this is the figure which shows the superior kind of fireproof door, which is consisting of a steel plate. So steel के door होता है, so which is having minimum 6 mm thickness. And when we are talking about inferior kind of fireproof door, then it is consisting of the timber panel. So this timber panel, this inside it is a timber panel that is of 40 mm thickness, and which is covered by this iron steel sheet. Okay, so 3 mm sheet, both can be provided, but in between there is a timber. So that is the inferior quality of the fireproof door. So this will take care of the opening. If you are having a big industry or like that, so many people are coming, and you want to provide the proper fire resisting structure, then in that case this opening should be proper. Okay. Also these windows that are that should be fitted with the fireproof shutter. इसका shutter होना चाहिए, वो fireproof होना चाहिए. And that if you are using the glass, then it should be 6 mm minimum. Wire means it's a wire glass fixed करना है. It's not a normal glass in the steel frame. So proper protection of opening, that is the major thing in case of fire resisting structure. Next, if any structure which is nearby your structure is a fire resistant structure, and nearby near the 6 meter distance you are having the another structure. So your fire resisting structure, its doors, windows of your structure, when it is facing another structure, then in that case जो आपका facing part है towards the other building which is not a fire resisting, then it should be properly fireproof. Okay. So whenever such fire if take place in another building, then at least you should be protected. And the exit door, which should be covered with the, it should not be covered with the curtains. पर्दा वर्दा वहाँ पे नहीं लगाना है, एंड शुड बी क्लियरली विजिबल जो भी आपका एग्जिट डोर है, ठीक है। एंड वेन एवर यू आर यूजिंग द सेल्फ क्लोजिंग डिवाइस, it should not be such that it cause the resistance to the opening को कोई resistant means it should not cause any resistance to the opening. So self closing device जो भी है, it should not obstruct your opening. Also this door should not create any obstruction to the person in passage or stair. So जो भी आपका door है, it should not cause any obstruction to the person or in the passage or in the stair. Okay, because at that time to rush is a major thing. Okay, so obstruction should not be there. And windows should also act as a means of escape in case of the fire, as a secondary means. First तो आपका door है, लेकिन if due to some reason it is occupied, then this window should also act as escape, as a secondary means. And also it can help the fire extinguishing people, so they can also come from that. Next is coming to the common wall. Okay, so when fire resisting building which is adjoining with the other building, आपके पास एक other building है, the minimum thickness of the common wall should be of 2 brick, means 40 mm का thickness minimum, and it should be raised above the roof level by at least 900 mm. So जो भी आपका roof level है उससे 900 mm above you have to raise, and minimum 2 brick thick, that should be the common wall with your adjoining building. Then partition wall. So whenever you are going for the partition wall, it should be extended up to your roof height. इसको बीच में नहीं छोड़ देना है. It should be extended up to roof height. Also this staircase, it should be at least 900 mm wide. Emergency ladder should be provided with the fireproof door. Okay, and all should be constructed with the fire resisting material only. आप timber का अगर provide कर देते हैं staircase, so it is of no use. Okay, then floors. Generally these floors, it should be of RCC of minimum 150 mm thickness और 6 mm thick steel plate के भी बना सकते हैं, and it should be provided with the proper slope to drain the water. So these are the provisions that are to be provided in fire resisting building. Okay, now apart from this construction part, whenever if fire takes place, then you should be having certain arrangement to extinguish the fire. Okay, so for that this fire extinguishing arrangement is must. Okay, so for there are various types of arrangement that are possible. So first is manual fire extinguishing equipments. So in that such kind of portable fire extinguishers that can be provided, and also you can provide such kind of bucket that is of water or sand, and asbestos cement के blankets भी आते हैं, so that you can apply on the fire. Okay, so this is the manual mechanism. Next is internal hydrant. So this kind of hydrant you might have seen. So generally it is located all around your building to make the water easily available to fire. So normally इसका connection आपके municipal water supply की pipeline के साथ होता है. So whenever fire takes place, the fire people, they will fix their hose pipe with this hydrant, and they can utilize this. So under pressure you have to get this water. Okay, so that pressurized water can be applied to the fire. Next is automatic sprinkler installation can also be done. Okay, so if your structure is very important, so in that case what you can do, you can fit this overhead pipes. Overhead pipes आप fix कर सकते हैं on the this particular ceiling of the room at generally distance depending upon the requirement at 3 meter center to center with sprinkler head. So you can provide such kind of sprinkler heads at the top, and that are generally consisting of the fusible plug. तो जब भी fire होता है ना, तो that will melt, and that will allow the water to fall on the floor, and by sprinkling action that will extinguish the fire. Okay, and you can bring that fire under control. So that is the sprinkler system which may be automatic. So such kind of extinguishing arrangements are to be provided in fire resisting building. Now in theaters and cinema, so this, because so many people they are gathering here in theaters and cinema, so proper fire extinguishing mechanism and all the construction that should be fire resistant. First thing, so first thing, projection room, it should be fire resistant. All the passages and gangways means ये जो distance होता है ना between the two seats, This is called as gangways. It should be should be having a suitable width. जो भी passage है, जो भी gangways है, it should have sufficient width so that in case of such emergency, people can escape safely. Also, this efficient lighting and safety lighting should be provided. So generally, that lighting arrangement, it should not be taken from the normal lighting, but it should be special lighting which can operate during fire also. And all the fire extinguisher mechanism or fire appliances, hydrant system, everything, it should be provided at a suitable location with the trained staff. If you have fire extinguisher but you are not having a staff who can operate it, then there is no meaning. So the trained staff who can operate in case of fire, they should be appointed. Also, the proper escape route should be marked and exit should be mentioned with the illumination. So अंधेरे में भी आपको दिख सके. So this kind of so you come to know that, because normally it's a darkness. Okay, so whenever such lights are off, and you should know the path from where you have to move. Okay, and all the proper management and maintenance are to be done regularly in case of this theaters and cinema. Then all other buildings, all important buildings, hospitals, school, restaurant, जो भी हम ज़्यादा लोग यहाँ पे इकट्ठा होते हैं, so there should be provided at least suitable means of escape. सबसे important thing, escape. That proper escape route is to be marked, and all constructions should be fire resistant, as well as firefighting mechanism should be provided. And generally, high-rise building, there is a special provision which is desirable, and that is to be provided. So in short, you can say that जहाँ पे ज़्यादा लोग इकट्ठा होते हैं, तो वहाँ पे तो फायर रेजिस्टेंट कंस्ट्रक्शन इज मस्ट, एज वेल एज apart from that, the firefighting mechanism, it is also should be provided with the trained staff. So whenever fire takes place, the life of maximum people can be saved. So now we should just know about which are the different types of fire protection system. Okay, so in brief you should know all these things, because as you are learning फायर रेजिस्टेंट कंस्ट्रक्शन तो आपको समझ में आ गया, लेकिन सिस्टम कौन सी हम अप्लाई कर सकते हैं, सो दैट ऑल्सो वी शुड नो. सो देयर आर बेसिकली मेनी systems, but we will discuss this. First is automatic sprinkler system, as we have discussed earlier also. Then carbon separation system, hydrant system, dry chemical separation system, halon system, water spray system. Now just you try to understand, you are having a fire triangle. ठीक है, उसके अंदर एक तो आपके पास ऑक्सीजन है, एक तो आपके पास हीट है, ठीक है, एंड तीसरा आपके पास फ्यूल है. ठीक है, सो एनी एक्सटिंग्विशिंग मैकेनिज्म, एंड फोर्थ है आपका रिएक्शन, जो रिएक्शन होता है. ओके, दैट इज अ कंटिन्यूअस चेन रिएक्शन. सो इफ यू वांट टू एक्सटिंग्विश द फायर, देन आवर मेन पर्पस इज टू सप्रेस एनीथिंग. ऑक्सीजन कम करना चाहेंगे या फ्यूल कम करना चाहेंगे, जो या फिर हीट इग्निशन पॉइंट को आप इफेक्ट करेंगे विद द वाटर, या चेन रिएक्शन तोड़ेंगे, देन यू कैन एक्सटिंग्विश द फायर. सो एनी ऑफ द मैकेनिज्म दैट इज यूज्ड इन any of the system. Okay, so in which system, which extinguishing mechanism that we are using, that we will discuss. So automatic sprinkler system, पानी डालेंगे तो जो भी आपका ignition point है उसको हम शांत करने का ट्राई कर रहे हैं. ठीक है, so the automatic sprinkler system provides with the automatic sprinklers which are attached to the piping system. So nozzles, this kind of nozzles that are provided. Okay, and here we have to supply water under pressure. So this pressurized pump, etc., they are connected with all this piping system, and whenever fire takes place, they will automatically spray the water or sprinkle the water. So this water discharges immediately from the sprinkler, which is which is open on a fire. So the uska flow switch aata hai, which allow the water to the affected area. So this is automatically working. So pressurized water system, that is connected with the piping arrangement, that is connected with the nozzles, that is under pressure, that will supply the sprinkle the water all over the fire. So generally, advantage wise, it works automatically without human intervention within the few minutes of the fire breaking out. Okay, and also it will send automatic alert to the local fire department, so they can also come and help. So chances of survival, that will increase, and that it will limit the spread of flames and production of the smoke, and it will provide limits the damage to the building. So as it is automatically working, it is good. But for that, you should have a systematic that high pressure water system should be available, proper pressurized system, so that it can automatically work. That should be present. Okay, so that is automatic sprinkler system. Next is carbon dioxide suppression system. So here our main aim is to this remove oxygen. हमको ऑक्सीजन पे बात करना, ठीक है. So this carbon dioxide is a clean and non-combustible, non-corrosive gas, and it eliminates the oxygen to suppress the fire. So oxygen नहीं मिलेगा तो fire will extinguish. Okay, so in this suppression system, if it detects the smoke or fire, it releases CO2 agent. उसमें से CO2 बाहर निकलेगा, ठीक है. So generally it is stored in either high pressure spun type of cylinders, जो फायर प्रूफ सिलेंडर में भरा जाता है. ओके, सो whenever fire takes place, if you are just applying it on it, then it will just eliminate this ऑक्सीजन को वो उसके कम कर देता है या फिर उसको सप्रेस कर देता है. एंड ड्यू टू दैट, एज दिस ऑक्सीजन इज नॉट अवेलेबल, इट विल extinguish the fire. So generally this kind of CO2 suppression system you may find near computer room or area containing flammable liquid, so that whenever fire takes place, you have to just apply this CO2 that will deactivate this oxygen supply रोक देगा, and that will extinguish the fire. So that is carbon dioxide suppression system, oxygen को रोकने के लिए. Next is hydrant system. So everybody is knowing this hydrant. So basically this fire hydrant installation consists of the system of pipe network, complete pipe network. Okay, and generally it is intended to provide the water for firemen to fight a fire. So high pressurized this water that is coming to that hydrant, and that water will be made available to firemen. So uska jo hose pipe aata hai, that can go at very much height, and under pressure that water is to be applied to the fire. So the water is discharged into the fire engine में डालना आपको पहले, and then pump में, and then you have to spray over the fire. So firefighter, they are having major role whenever there is a fire hydrant system. So generally a fire hydrant system are located at suitable points surrounding your building, and which may be operated automatically or manually. So manual operation में क्या होता है कि pump has to be started manually. hydrant का जो pipe होता है ना, जिसमें हम हॉस पाइप फिक्स करते हैं, तो वो तो हम नॉर्मली मैन्युअली वी आर ओपनिंग, ओके, हाइड्रेंट का पाइप. बट दिस पंप, it has to be also started manually. But whenever we are talking about automatic hydrant system, so pump will automatically operated once this hydrant valve is open. valve open किया तो pump भी automatically start हो जाएगा, and it will extinguish the fire. So basically this system is considered to be the backbone of all fire protection system. And normally each and everywhere high rise building also you may find such type of hose pipe होते हैं, then fire hydrant system, the पूरा piping system that is provided. So all important buildings that are generally provided, paper mill, hospital, textile mill, airport, high rise building, all are provided with such kind of hydrant system. So its main purpose is to provide the high pressurized water, and that will be available to the fire engine, and then it is to be pumped, and it should be sprayed over fire. Next is dry chemical suppression system. So instead of first हमने देखा CO2, here हमको dry chemical powder suppress करना है, ठीक है. So this dry chemical system, it releases a dry chemical powder. Okay, so उसकी वजह से उसका ऑक्सीजन पे और उसके पूरे रिएक्शन पे इफेक्ट आता है, ठीक है. So generally this sodium bicarbonate and monoammonium phosphate, they are the most commonly used powders which is used in dry chemical suppression system. Okay, so generally sodium bicarbonate, it is used for class B and some types of class C fire also. That when if this ammonium phosphate if you are using, you can utilize it for ABC fire. Okay, all three types of fire. And generally sometimes this this dry powder sprinkler systems are also used. Instead of water, it will apply this dry chemical powder. Okay, and that will extinguish the fire. Next is halon suppression system. तो ये एक है, halon is a liquefied compressed gas. Okay, and that will stop the spread of fire by chemically disrupting the combustion. अभी traditionally, as I have told you, that if you want to stop a fire, you need to remove any one side of the triangle. इग्निशन को रोको या फिर फ्यूल को रोको या फिर ऑक्सीजन को. फ्यूल रोकना इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट, ऑक्सीजन या इग्निशन पे हम वार कर सकते हैं. तो हियर दिस हेलोन, it will add to a fourth dimension of firefighting mechanism, that is breaking the chain reaction. So chain reaction अगर नहीं होगा तो fire extinguish, the fire will extinguish. So here in the halon suppression system, if you are spraying this halon and that will suppress the chain reaction. So chain reaction टूटेगा तो fire will be automatically extinguished. Okay, so that is halon suppression system. Next is water spray system. So हमने sprinkler system का the similar kind of thing, but here this nozzle arrangement, water mist nozzle होते हैं, that is somewhat different. Okay, so it is mainly used at the places where there is a high possibility of spreading fire very quickly. जल्दी जल्दी जहाँ पे अगर फायर लगता है, so यहाँ पे water mist nozzles are used. So here piping arrangement is to be done, and similarly in this spray system they are used to cool the equipment surrounding your fire also. कि जो भी आपका इक्विपमेंट है फायर के अराउंड, उसको भी आप ठंडा करने के लिए भी आप यूज कर सकते हैं. So to entire building the required area is protected with the pipes of network and water mist nozzles. So these nozzle arrangements are different from that pressure, what you can say, that high pressurized nozzles that are used in your automatic sprinkler system. So yeah, water mist means what in the form of water mist they are spraying water. That's why it is called as the water spray system. So that are also connected with such high pressurized pump unit and that nozzles head that will spray water. Okay, so it is very essential that which kind of fire extinguisher you are using and which kind of fire can be extinguished with that. So you can say this water, it can extinguish a kind of fire. It cannot be here already it is mentioned, do not use for that. So any fire extinguisher, if you see now, so here all the instructions are given, and as per that which kind of fire you can extinguish, that is always mentioned. So here this dry powder, so which powder it is filled in, accordingly you can utilize for different classes of fire. Here instead of dry chemical you can use foam also, this CO2, that wet chemical sometimes you are using. So accordingly you can extinguish that kind of fire, and if it is said that do not use on that, then you should not use. So this CO2 you cannot utilize in this A or D kind of fire. So that fire fighting people, they are having all the knowledge related to all these classes of fire and which kind of fire extinguisher can be used in which kind of classes of fire, they are using accordingly. So this provision of emergency exit in building, that is the major requirement for important building which are fire resistant. Okay, so this exit, that is a special exit that is to be provided, and the combined use of regular and special exit allows the faster evacuation. Normal exit hota hai, but emergency exit should always be there, and this route, whatever that route it is given, it should not be blocked by fire whenever fire takes place. So generally it is always provided in theater and hospital. So this is must in all the important building. So generally two types of exit they are generally provided. In form of horizontal, it may be door or corridor or passage or stair, but it should not be a lift. If you are providing for vertical, तो vertical escape में आपको कभी भी lift use नहीं करना है. It's a staircase or ramp, but not a lift. Okay, so as per our National Building Code of India, this fire requirement for all the fire resistant building, these are the some provisions given. Every building should be provided with sufficient exit to permit the safe escape in case of fire. Fire जब भी होता है तो safe escape के लिए आपको sufficient exit provide करना है, that is must. Then all the exits should be free from obstruction, that is the requirement. Adequate lighting, illumination should be provided. Alarm devices should be provided, and sprinklers should be provided. So you can say that all the provisions that are necessary to be safe whenever such fire takes place, that are to be provided in fire resistant building. So thank you very much. I'm just stopping the presentation now.